my percentile was 99.31 that I got. DILR was one thing that I had not done much before. So I knew that required a lot of practice, and luckily Gaurav sir was amazing in that. The method of teaching the whatever methods that he taught and all the sums usually cleared up the concept, so that went very well. I think when you're giving three sections at once for the first time, it kind of befuddles with you. From each mentor I got various insights. Even when filling up the form and writing SOPs, I was getting some directions. When I came out of the interview, I was fairly confident for Ahmedabad that it might work out in my favor. Leading up to it, I was really nervous, and when I saw the final result in my office, I was really elated. I actually shouted out when I was at my desk.
Okay. Huge congratulations on your IIM Ahmedabad convert.
Thank you so much.
First, tell us a bit about your background and what inspired you to pursue MBA in the first place.
So let me start by telling I'm a chartered accountant. I qualified last year in 2024. Along with that, I pursued my CFA when I was in my articleship. I had worked before in Big Fours and in one of the leading investment banks in the country. I was working in their IB mid office. Regarding MBA, it was always a long-term goal which I wanted to do post clearing my CA. So as soon as I got my final results, I was thinking to start preparing, and I did found Elitesgrid and I started my CAT prep. With 3 months of prep, yeah, I gave CAT 2024, and luckily things went my way, and here I am.
Okay, so what is your percentile and how did you prepare for your exam?
Okay, so my percentile was 99.31 that I got. And regarding the preparation, I started it in somewhere in July. Tentatively more towards end July, even though I had joined the batch earlier with EG, I was able to start prep probably late in July. And yeah, 3 months went in July, August, September, October, end of July, so August, September, October, and a bit of November, where the revisions took place. I mostly did it with self-study and with the classes that Elitesgrid gave and the tests that were regularly held. So yeah, that was most of it. I also appeared for some mock tests and sim cards, and yeah, that was about it.
So, how did you came to know about EG? Did anyone suggest you, or you did your own research and came to know about Elite Grade?
So once my results, before my results, I was thinking of prepping, and I did my own research. But I also checked with a few friends, one of whom did suggest EG that he had heard from a friend. And yeah, I spoke with the classes before joining, and yeah, I started in early July then. Yes,
Okay, so in which batch you did enroll?
I think I was in the alpha batch for EG.
From which colleges did you receive calls, and which colleges calls you have converted till now?
Okay, so I had applied for the Black Keys. I received calls from Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Lucknow, Indore. Kozhikode, I received the first call, and yeah, so not Kozhikode, and yeah, Shillong. So everything apart from Calcutta and Kozhikode, yes.
You know that CAT preparation phase is itself a bit challenging, right? So within 3 months you prepared, and that's already amazing. So how did you stay consistent and motivated on bad days? Like already you are so late, and in 3 months you will have to prepare so much. So how did you stay motivated?
So it was definitely not an easy journey. Managing a full-time job and cat was a difficult thing. But yeah, the teachers at EG always used to keep me motivated. I used to miss a lot of classes due to my work timings, and I often used to watch recordings mainly. But yeah, at the end of every lectures, most of the concepts were clear, and I always pushed myself to make it harder, saying that it's probably now or never. So most of it was that generally.
Okay, so you managed to do job along with preparation for a CAT exam also. So what was your strategy? Like, did you follow any timetable, or you just did it to go with the flow, like kind of a thing?
It was mostly go with the flow, I guess. I used to try to follow whatever they said in the classes, albeit it was a week or two late usually because I was using the recordings. But yeah, whatever the flow of things was in the class, usually they worked out for me.
There are three sections in CAT, right? People feel challenging in one of the sections, or in maybe two. So which section required the most effort from your side, and how did you tackle it?
Okay, so I think to answer that question, first of all, VARC, I believe I started with it the earliest. I think that was one which quite suited me. DILR was one thing that I had not done much before. So I knew that required a lot of practice, and luckily Gaurav sir was amazing in that. I watched each and every one of his classes, especially the 4 hour 38 minute revision video that he had posted last year for CAT 2023. Also, I watched it multiple times. The method of teaching the whatever methods that he taught and all the sums usually cleared up the concept, so that went very well. And in the DILR section I was able to crack three sets and secure 99.66 in the divisional percentile. Apart from that, quant was one thing which I had not touched for like almost 5 years, because the last time I'd done quant was probably in the 12th and first year of college along with my CA foundation entrance prep. But yeah, quant was again one thing. Honey sir was very really great on all the concepts and methods, and especially the notes and the revisions during the last week of CAT. They really helped me because quant was one thing where I feel I was lacking, but luckily I got good in that. I think got a percentile of 95.21 in quant section. So thanks a lot, Honey sir. That really worked out in my favor.
Already you joined late and you said that you were not good in quants. So within 3 months, you covered all the topics as well as gave mock. What was the strategy? How did you handle that? That's very impressive. I just want to know that how did you handle all of this job and everything, and then covering all the concepts and then giving mocks, revising everything? Like how? What
Yeah,
was the
one
strategy?
thing I would say, yeah, I was usually academically bright student up till now. So one thing was that I just kept my focus. I said it's 3 months. Let's make the best of it. I used to come back from office usually late or early, whatever. It used to fluctuate variably. But whenever I used to do, I made sure that most of the time was devoted towards my prep, since I only had 3 months in hand. So I used to have a look at the classes, whatever I could, and try to cover up. And also I tried in the during the weekends I used to give the sectional tests that were there, usually chapter wise or sectional, so that I could at least keep the pace. There were a lot of times wherein the scores really dropped, but I was like, if I give up at this point, there's barely any time to move forward. So regret less and practice more is what I did, honestly.
In the beginning, were the mock scores high or low? As you said, you are academically bright student. So in the beginning, were the mock scores high or low, or what stage were you in?
So when I was giving chapter-wise tests, they used to be good, but when I gave my first couple of sectionals, there was a drop in quite a few sections, because I think when you're giving three sections at once for the first time, it kind of befuddles with you. But it kind of worked out. Like as soon as I gave 3, 4 mocks, I was able to gauge the timing that probably I need to focus more over here, manage my time better. And there was also a thing that I was trying to attempt a lot of questions, which was not really working out in my favor. So I kind of found out the perfect balance, as was mentioned by the professors in their classes too earlier. But I guess it takes to practice and get more of it. But yeah, giving more mocks kind of helped me find that sweet spot of how many questions probably I could attempt in the time and manage my time well for, probably attempting a few further, which would not hamper my marks. But yeah, that kind of worked out.
Okay, so how did you improve your mock? Like, did you make notes of the mistakes that you made and revise thoroughly again and again? What did you do to improve it?
So post giving mocks, what I usually did was I spent an hour or an hour and a half looking at the questions only that I got wrong, because the ones that I got right, I knew that probably not much was needed there, obviously. So the ones that I didn't attempt and the ones that I got wrong were more important, and I just used to kind of highlight on those and see what chapters there are. So before giving the next mock, I would kind of just narrow in down on those particular concepts in particular and then focus on them. As I said, there was quite less time, so that was the only strategy that I could have adopted realistically.
So analysis part you did well, and that really helped for your improvement,
Yeah,
right?
definitely. And in the last week leading up to CAT, I believe there were kind of revision lectures as well, which were held in the last week, which kind of gave you a scan of entire CAT exams for the last 6 odd years, along with the important sums which were there in that year. I kind of attended those sessions diligently, because obviously there was a chance that patterns could repeat, or at least the concepts could repeat, and that really helped.
So other than CAT, did you appear for any other exams?
CAT
Oh,
was just the one that I gave. I had
oh,
just had ABCL as my target, so yeah, CAT was the
and
only one.
So you were confident from day one only that I need to go to this college, either this or none.
Yeah, I was not going to settle below that. Definitely, A, B, C, and L were the mains that I were targeting, and obviously I got the calls from ABL. So yeah.
So coming back to the interview part, tell me about your interview preparation. Did you structure your preparation separately for each IIM or follow a common approach?
So as soon as the CAT official scorecard was out, I think I joined the Alpha GDPI variant, which was offered, and in that I connected with various mentors as well. I gave two personal mocks. I think that was all. But yeah, from each mentor, I got various insights. Even when filling up the form and writing SOPs, I was getting some directions. And I think for each interview, there was a kind of approach that I followed. It was more of probably not for each IIM. There was one suitable approach that I followed. There was just one standard way that I prepped. It was academics, general affairs, and my work ex. The 3 points on which I mainly focused that were in my hand. And yeah, I kept brushing up on these three in various aspects when I was prepping before each interview. Luckily for me, they were placed quite a bit afar, so that worked out.
So as you said that you were preparing for the current affairs for B school interviews. So what are the topics that you focused on more related to current affairs?
So I'm focused a lot on geopolitics, which was quite active during my time at least. And additionally, since I was a chartered accountant, I was kind of focusing on the budget which had come in recently at that time. And obviously, the political scenario within India, the economy, the economic survey that had come in, those were quite the major topics that I kind of focused on. And a couple of them were asked in the interviews as well.
Okay, very nice. So whatever your educational background that related current affairs also you just prepared well. So it's very
Yeah,
good.
yeah. So academics obviously were a huge part because since I was a chartered accountant and a CFA L2 holder, I knew that most of those concepts would also quicken all along with the work ex that I was the industry which I was currently working in, which was banking and finance. So yeah.
Were there any moment while you felt stuck during the interview? You get question, unexpected questions or tricky questions uh, that the interview can grill you. So, how did you handle those questions? And if you remember that question, and how did you handle it?
So let me start with I think as my first interview, which was obviously the IIM Ahmedabad interview. So as soon as I went in, first I was asked as to about my work ex and why I would probably want to go for an MBA. That discussion went on for 5 minutes, which was quite a conversational one, and it went well. After that, they went on to the technicals. Now, when they did, they were switching between topics of accounts, finance, then costing, taxation. So there was a moment where I kind of blanked out during the interview. I think the interviewers did notice it, and when they did, I asked them for like 10 seconds to just gather my thoughts. I took a couple of deep breaths. I kind of focused in on the topic which was at hand, and I answered it. But there were a couple of questions wherein I was not sure, but I chose not to answer them rather than probably run the risk of going wrong there.
So you handled the interview very confidently.
Yeah, there was a moment where I was kind of very nervous during that part where I did blank out, but yeah, it's mainly I think it's regarding to hold your composure at that point rather than falling apart.
So after your interview was done, what was your feeling right after that? Relieved, hopeful, or confused? Did you feel confident after the interview, like yes, you're going to convert it, or what will happen? What was your feeling?
So when I came out of the interview, I was fairly confident for Ahmedabad that it might work out in my favor. But again, the nature of these things are such that you can't really tell for sure. So I was hopeful for the interview, and I think a couple of days leading up to the results, I was really nervous because obviously when the moment of truth comes, you are kind of banking on probably it happening versus the odds of it not happening. But yeah, leading up to it, I was really nervous. And when I saw the final result in my office, I was really elated. I actually shouted out when I was at my desk. But yeah, obviously, I was kind of fairly confident it might go through. But again, I was hopeful. I was not extremely confident कि हाँ हो ही जाएगा. But yes, I was fairly confident
So,
it will happen.
as you said, you were very happy after you saw the congratulations mail on your screen. What was the family's reaction?
Oh God. So my dad was really elated because obviously it's a milestone achievement when you do get selected
Very
into
true.
my
Yes.
mom and dad were really elated, and so was my brother. So yeah, it was an amazing moment as a family also when I came back home and I told them that yeah, it was done. I actually called up my mom as soon as I saw the result. I just shared the screenshot in our family group on WhatsApp, and as soon as I saw it, I just went on a conference call with both of them, and it was a I mean, it was one of the top 10 moments in my life, I would definitely say.
So, what is your experience with EG? And if any cat aspirant wants to take guidance from you, what will you say about EG? What are your thoughts?
I think it was one of the better experiences that I have had in with coaching institutes like across the past years. I am including all my CA coaching and other tuitions that I have at as well. The teachers were really encouraging. The classes were really good, crisp and concise with all the things that you needed to follow. And obviously with the mentorship program, it just provided